All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you, just like me. All right, so this is Hydra Point Break. This came out last year. I talked about this quite a bit. If you like Toto, and one song on there sounds a lot like the band Europe, but this is traditional music. It might be more pop and boat rock, as some people like to refer to it, or yacht rock. But it is very listenable, great production value. Hydra, Point Break, check it out, courtesy of Frontiers Music. Toto, of course, is part of the Journey 50th anniversary tour. And I would say mission accomplished. Team Schon pulled off a big deal, a big event with Gregg Rolie being there, and also with Steve Lukather playing guitar out there during Black Magic Woman, which was really the best song as far as Gregg's voice is concerned. But it was still an incredible night just to see him up there. I mean, the same thing would happen if Steve Perry showed up, right? But bigger, obviously, would be one for the ages. I mean, Steve Perry on stage, just walking on stage would be great. And I did this video yesterday, Where Are You, Steve? But you got to give Team Schon a lot of credit here. They pushed hard to get this done. They had resistance, obviously. This kind of changed the focus away from the feuding, which will continue on and on. But most fans are more concerned about the music. And if people are going to see a concert, they really aren't that concerned about who's saying what about who and what legal documents came out today. And I think in the public relations realm right now, Team Schon is winning the battle. Doesn't mean things can't change overnight. Gregg Rolie, he's only going to be at one show. I don't think he's going to be at any additional shows. He lives near Austin, so this was perfect to have him there. And again, for all those people who said there's no way that Gregg is going to touch this, well, I think he wanted his legacy represented, because here's the way the media likes to portray this. This article here talks about how Gregg showed up, and most of it is spot on. They talk about what Rolie told the crowd, 50 years of one band going through changes, but it's like a runaway freight train that just keeps going with no brakes. Yeah, maybe not the best thing to say after what happened to the folks in Ohio, but I'm sure he wasn't thinking along those lines. But here's the last paragraph. It says, Rolie was Journey's original lead singer and keyboardist back in 1973 when the group formed back in San Francisco. He appeared on their first 6 albums. In 1977, Rolie was replaced as lead singer by Steve Perry. No, he wasn't. He wasn't replaced. Steve Perry joined, and Rolie's singing duties certainly decreased up until he left in 1980. He only had one song on Departure, and that was a duet with Perry, but he was essentially the lead singer with a lot of help from Steve Perry. Rolie wasn't replaced by Steve Perry. I would say Rolie was displaced by Steve Perry. And Rolie said at one point, hey, I knew the writing was on the wall. I wasn't going to be singing as much. I was tired of the road, and he wanted to spend more time with his family. But this, quick little blurb here, which is really a couple of sentences, this is what the media does. They don't care about these kinds of details because, quite frankly, they're not all that interested in the story about a geezer rock band who brings back the singer from 1980. But a lot of Journey fans were pretty stoked. And the reaction across the interweb was very positive. So score one for Team Schon, and score one for the old time crew that just wanted to see him there. His singing was okay on Black Magic Woman. I don't know. I think if you're not singing on a regular basis, your voice isn't going to be where it should be. And again, he's 75 years old. I mean, how much gas in the tank is left? We don't know. I'm not sure if Gregg is planning on touring as a solo artist or going out with Ringo again. Ringo is like in his 80s now, so I'm not sure how long Ringo is going to do that stuff. Maybe Ringo can get some keyboard work with the Stones, since the Stones have recruited both Paul and Ringo to be the rhythm section on maybe more than one song on their new project. So we'll see. Gregg is a great guy, a great musician, and his story, I think, rises above all of the BS going on in Journey right now. So I'm thankful for him. My first album, like full album that I ever purchased, was Departure by Journey, and he's on there. And then, of course, I started exploring all the material prior to that. Even those first three albums, those forbidden first three albums that nobody is supposed to like, it's good stuff. It's very different, and it didn't make the band a lot of money commercially, but certainly it laid the groundwork, laid the foundation for what would come later. And right up until Gregg left, the band had a very distinctive sound. When John came in, that sound was replaced with something else. It's a different journey on Escape. And, did they retain some of that jam band sound here or there on a few songs? Yeah. But for the true rock fans, the Perry Rolie era for Journey is the best. It just is. The critics, they put Infinity as the best Journey album. I'm still partial to Escape because that was the first album that really just went bonkers, and I was at the age where it was everywhere. And so I have a lot of fond memories of the album, whereas Infinity was before I really got going with just listening to the radio and being really plugged into that stuff. But both albums are fantastic, and don't underestimate Evolution and Departure as albums. They weren't as commercially successful, but there are a lot of great deeper tracks. Go listen to People and Places sometime if you really want to trip, if you want to hear a crazy good Journey song that you may not be familiar with. Anyway, folks, this band you might not be familiar with either. Hydra, Point Break. This came out last year. Really dig the production value on this, and good songwriting for the most part. Check it out. Look, a lot of the new stuff I promote, most people will say this doesn't hold a candle to the old days, and you might be right. You might be right, but we've got to keep pushing on. We need to keep talking about music and telling people about where to listen to something different. If you get bored listening to your Journey collection or your REO Speedwagon collection, whatever it is you have, I know everybody's just streaming everything and they've got their little playlist set up. That's fine. Maybe you can add a song or two to your playlist. Make your radio station into, one or two new tracks and all your old tracks together. And I bet you'll start to like some of the newer things that are coming out there. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget about Patreon. Also, YouTube memberships. Subscribing to the channel is always a big help. Subscriptions are starting to perk up a little bit again. I don't know. I think they just decided to release whatever mechanism they had in order to see these videos. I guess I'm popping up in places where I'm not supposed to be. The political stuff, which obviously gets me in trouble. But, REO Speedwagon, they had an album called Good Trouble. So I guess I'll look at it that way. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.